Hello, my beautiful Glow Nation! Happy Monday! How are we all doing? How are we all doing? Did we all have a good weekend? I've got some good news for you. There's 1 week left of Mercury retrograde. Yes! Yes! Are we celebrating? Are we celebrating? Hello, love. Hi, Sadie. Hi, Agnieszka. Hello, Francesca. Hello, love. Amazing weekend. I'm so happy for you, darling. I'm so happy. So grateful. Oh, that's beautiful. Hello, Sarah. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Brittany. Hello, darling. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let us know if you are here for the first time. Hello, Jacqueline. Hi, darling. Hello, everyone on the other platform as well, or anybody who is watching the recording of this. Thank you for coming. Thank you for tuning in. Hi, Amy. Hello, Elena. Chloe. Hello, darling. I'm low physical energy this morning. Oh, love. Hopefully, we can give you a little bit of a pick me up over here. Yeah. Hopefully, a little bit of motivation with this weekly tarot. Hello, Dawn, but mentally revved up. Brilliant, brilliant. We love that. We love that. If you are here for the first time, my darlings, let us know in the chat box because we want to give you a warm welcome in the Glow Nation. Hello. You have found the most amazing community, right? The most amazing community you have found. We have been at this community. We've been at this. We've been at this for about 2.5 years now, and it has been the most beautiful journey so far. We have met so many people. We have grown so much. We have gone through so much together, shared so many experiences. Love is your first time. Welcome, darling. Shared so many experiences, and we keep growing and we keep attracting more and more people. I am Gloria. I have the pleasure to be the host in this amazing community. I'm a spiritual medium, a psychic development teacher, and at the heart of what I do is a deep desire to bring people home to themselves. So I'm going to do everything that I possibly can to do that. Okay. All I want is for people to feel at home within themselves and to feel that they can be their most authentic self outside in the world. Because I really truly believe that when we get to that point that we feel like we can be ourselves in the outside world, then I think that that's when the world is starting to heal as well, right? The more we heal, the more the world heals as well. So here we are. That's what I do. Today is Monday. So this is a weekly appointment that we have. If you're here for the first time, it's a weekly appointment that we have. We tune in with the tarot. We tune into the energies of the week ahead of us. And then in the second part of the reading, so first we just tune into the energy, see what cards are coming up, and I'm reading the cards for you. In the second part of this live, I will give you some journal prompts because we believe, yes, in the reading, in tuning in with the energy, but also we believe in taking action. We believe in taking action and we believe in implementing, because who creates our life? Who is the creator of our life? Us. It's us. It's us, you guys. It's us. So we got to take the initiative. We got to take responsibility and we got to do it. Okay. We got to design this life of ours, design it to the most authentic expression of our heart. Yeah. So that's what we're here to do. You train your dog to heal. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, Sandy. I love that. All right. Okay. So without further ado, let's tune into the energies of the week ahead. Okay, Spirit. For everybody tuned in today, everyone watching the live, everyone watching the replay, for our highest and best good and the highest and best good of all, what do we need to know? What do we need to know? What do we need to be made aware of today? Let's see. Just shuffling. Shuffling. Let's see. Okay. It's also a full moon week, actually. We got a full moon. Whoa. Okay. Wait. What's going on here? This all felt like something like came out. I feel like there's shifts. I want to say shifts. Okay. Let's tune in. I feel that we're maturing. Okay. We are maturing. I'm so proud of us. We are maturing. Things are shifting. And I feel like we're no longer up for certain games. Does that make sense? Let's go into each card. But I feel like we're no longer up for certain games. We're maturing and things are changing big time. And I feel that this reconnects to the fact that we have a full moon this week. So there's going to be some release to do around that. It's a full moon in Aquarius, actually. So it's a powerful moon of the mind. But we'll get into that later this week and maybe possibly in the reading. Okay, let's tune in. First, we're starting with a Seven of Swords reverse. Yeah? Seven of Swords reverse. Can you see it? Is my light too bright? Here it is. There you go. Seven of Swords reverse. Now, whenever I see reverse cards, if you're here for the first time with us, I don't always read reverses, yeah? Reverse energy, I really have to tune into that card. I really have to tune in because sometimes I feel that it's something against, right? An energy that it's like a resistant energy. But sometimes when I see a reverse, I feel like it's an energy that is exiting, right? That is exiting us. And that's exactly how I feel about this card, about this Seven of Swords. It's going out, okay? Hello, Bev. Hi, darling. So, Seven of Swords speaks about these things that we don't really want to face. You know what I mean? These things where we prefer to just pack our bags and go. Look at him. He's like, oh, I'm leaving. I don't want to get involved in that. I'm leaving. I don't want to take responsibility. I'm going to avoid this. I'm going to pack my bags and avoid this. How many times have we done this? I know I have done this so many times in my life. I definitely know I have done so many times in my life. I feel like this is the energy that sometimes things that we need to overcome, things that, that we need to overcome about ourselves, yeah? Things that we need to overcome about ourselves, things that we need to really face, you know, self-sabotaging habits perhaps that we need to face about ourselves. Very often we're like, no, that's uncomfortable, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pack my bags and go. I'm just going to look the other side and go away, right? So these are these uncomfortable things that we don't really feel like facing. But as I was saying, this is a reverse, yeah? It's a reverse card. So I'm feeling that actually this energy is leaving, you know, is leaving us. I feel like we're stepping up. I feel like we're stepping up. Hello, this is the first card, Leslie. Yes, first card, Seven of Swords. I feel like this is an energy that is leaving us. I feel that we are now so determined to be aligned with our heart. Remember that we're in Leo season. We are still in a reflective time. Hello, Michelle. We're still in a reflective time, because it's still, you know, Mercury retrograde and everything. But remember that this Mercury retrograde in Leo during Leo season is simply asking us, make sure that every single action you take is aligned with what you truly want. It is aligned with your heart, right? And so because that's the energy that we have this season, this card is now, this energy, it's now being pushed out, because in order for us to align with our heart, in order for us to take those actions that are truly aligned, there are some things that we need to face, simply. You know, we can't turn our heads the other way anymore, because there are some things that we're realizing, actually, for me to be really aligned, for me to actually design this life of mine that I want, I'm going to have to face this thing, because I'm really not being my own best friend, right? Who else resonates with this? Does it resonate? Hello, Monica. Does it resonate? I feel like we're gaining more and more awareness, but also courage. You know, I feel like we're gaining courage as well. We're no longer super afraid of this. We're now like, do you know what? The determination to create the life that I want is now stronger than the fear and then the taking responsibility, right? So there's more determination. I love this. I love this so much. The energy is moving out in favor of, look at this, my favorite card in the tarot, the Page of Swords, right? So many of you are resonating. I'm so happy to hear that. Beautiful. Page of Swords. Page of Swords is like, we are adopting a fresh perspective on ourselves, okay? We're looking at ourselves in a different way. Okay, Exactly, love. Consistency, stepping up my game. That's exactly that, right? So I love that we're so aligned with this energy. I love that we're so aligned with this Leo season, with this Mercury retrograde. We're doing exactly what needs to be done right now, okay? This energy of not wanting to take responsibility is moving out because we're finally, and help me say finally, let's shout it in capital letters, shall we? Finally seeing that it can be possible for us. We're finally seeing that it can be possible for us. We're seeing ourselves as somebody that deserves it, and we are happy to go for it because we finally shifted this perception that we have of ourselves. This is amazing energy. I love this so much. I love this so much. This is also coming out with the Three of Pentacles reverse. Now, this I feel is to do with this Mercury retrograde energy, okay? So because we shifted this perception, and because, thank you, love. Love is helping me say finally. Right? Face your fears. Courage isn't the absence of fear, yes, but the fact that something else is stronger than fear. Yes, Brittany, absolutely that, right? We have now become stronger than our fears. We now are really leaning into courage in this Leo season, really taking in this energy that Leo season is offering, and we're seeing ourselves differently. Now, with this Mercury retrograde, with this energy of seeing ourselves differently, we feel like we're ready to take action, right? But there's some things that still are not quite ready. There's still maybe a few little details to work out. Yeah, we have this Three of Pentacles reverse. Three of Pentacles is that practical card, right? The practicality, the organization, the getting things right, the ticking off the boxes so that we're ready to move on into this new energy, right? Not quite yet, okay? Not quite yet. This is the reverse of this. I actually see it as something that is about to come in, okay? We're about to be able to get more practical, but first we need Mercury to get out of the retrograde, okay? We need just this last week of reflection and then release at the end of the week with the full moon in Aquarius. Reflection and release. And then I feel that we're ready for more practical energy next week, because I feel that some of us already have like a super clear idea of what we want to do, where we want to go. Some of us have got it like ready, sorted, full steam ahead, right? But some other people are still like, okay, it's coming up, it's shaping up, but I'm not 100% sure. This is what it is, okay? This is exactly what it is. It's the last week of Mercury retrograde, so a little bit more of reflection, utilizing the full moon to get rid of. I'll tell you what the full moon is about. So the full moon is about, remember that when there's a full moon, we release the sign, right? We release a certain aspect of this sign. And so we release the mind. We release everything that is keeping us rigid, right? Everything that is keeping rigidity in our mind. Okay, remember that Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, so it's the planet of change. But it can be really difficult for Aquarius to change because it has a fixed energy, right? So even though it looks for change, it's a very fixed energy. So what we want to do during this full moon at the end of the week, we want to release that rigidity of our mind, those ideas that have been there for so long, right? Those habits and ideas that have been there for so long, maybe even dictated by the fears, perhaps, you know? We want to release that and go against this rigidity, okay? We're going to go against this rigidity and utilize everything that Uranus energy can give us to create something new, okay? So Mercury retrograde and full moon are going to help us bring in this practicality and this clarity. But this is simply saying it's not, if it doesn't feel like everything is sorted yet, know that it's because of that. Okay, you're ready to be practical, but maybe the energy is not quite there yet. So be patient with yourself, maybe start thinking about it, maybe write things down. But if it doesn't feel like it's quite there yet, then it's okay. Take this week to reflect a little bit more, release with the full moon, and then we're good to go next week. Yeah, from Monday, we're good. All the energies are full steam ahead. There are, however, I must mention this. There are, however, many void moons Okay, so there's so many. So a void moon is when the moon is not aspecting any other planets in the sky, right? So it's simply there, not communicating with any other planet. And I was looking because I have obviously an astrology calendar in my own Google Calendar, right? And I see all of the transits and all of the stuff, and I've got void moons on there as well. And usually, void moons, they happen like once a week, maybe like 4 days a month, something like that. Sometimes it just happens for a few hours. Sometimes it happens for maybe a day or a day and a half. These are called extra long void moons. Sorry, the third card was the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles reverse. Sorry, Sadie. So what I'm observing, I was looking at the month of August and all the transits and stuff, and actually we have more void moons than normal days. Okay, so again, it could be that this practicality takes a little bit to start up. Okay, it could be that this practicality takes a little bit. Just know that we have these energies that are demanding us for a bit more reflection, for a bit more slowing down. Even with the void moons, now we have void moons and Mercury retrograde all together. So it's like, no. It's like sloth pace at the moment. Sloth pace. We can't do anything about it. But next week, the Mercury retrograde is going to be taken out. We still have the void moons, but it's still going to be, be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. But this more clarity and more in a freer path ahead is coming, but not quite yet, essentially. Again, with the sun reverse. Yeah, sloth, isn't it? Isn't it a good description? Yeah. So we also have the sun reverse, again, we are ready. Again, this is another expression of this, we're ready to put our work out there. We're ready to share our creativity. We're ready to share our authenticity, but the energy is like, but just slow down for a moment. Just slow down for one more week. Okay. Slow down for one more week. So how can we utilize this sun reverse? We can utilize it simply reflecting, is everything that I'm doing, is everything that I am going to, is everything that I am going to show the world about myself and about my authenticity, about myself, is everything that I'm going to show the world actually aligned? Because this is it. Okay, this is it. This is what's going to get us where we want to be. Okay, so make sure that we are super aligned. Okay, so that's how we can utilize this sun reverse. It's a little bit the sloth pace, but it's still there. Still explore it. Don't deny yourself the exploration of your authenticity and your creativity. What I'm saying is maybe take an extra week before you announce it to the world. That's it. Okay. So that, unless you're like super 100% sure, don't let me tell you what to do or not. Just you follow your gut. Okay. But I'm just saying that if you feel like things are a little bit slower, that's also okay. Okay, that's also okay. Remember that this is the perfect pace. Okay, and then there you go. Towards the end of the week, we have a Three of Wands. So now we can see a bit more. After the full moon release, we can see a little bit more the horizon. We can see a little bit more the path ahead. And actually, all the battle, Five of Wands reverse, all the battle, all the resistance is starting to move out. Okay, is starting to move out. We are freeing ourselves from this. And this could be external events that have slowed things down. Think about Mercury. Hello, Shannon. Welcome. Think about Mercury retrograde. It slowed down so much on a technology level. I was creating actually all morning up until like half an hour ago before I started the live. I was creating, and honestly, I had so many setbacks because of technology. And I was like, I want to do this. I know that this is what I need to do. This is what I must do. And this is the right time, but technology made things a little bit slower. So that's that, These could be that the energies, the external energies like that, like for example, technologies are, that were slowing us down are now out of the way. But this could also be our own habits, right? This could also be ourselves. The way that we were fighting ourselves before, it's now moving out of our energy because we have this new vision of us, right? And it could also be external people. Perhaps some of you Some of you are changing jobs. Perhaps some of you are leaving toxic environments. And so with the end of the week, you're leaving this behind a little bit more. Okay. How are we feeling? Does this resonate? Plan before you jump in, fit first. Yes, exactly that, Brittany, right? Head before feet. Yes, correct. Correct. That's exactly that. Yeah. Michelle says resonates. Beautiful. Beautiful. So even if things are taking a little while longer to manifest, just know that it's the perfect pace. Okay. If it's taking longer, it's because we just need a little bit more time. It's because universe wants to make sure that we are extra sure, okay? That we are extra sure. And I actually feel this. I feel that the slow pace is because some of the changes that some of us are going to experience are actually going to be really big, you know? And so I think that some of that, hello, Jenny. And I think that some of this is simply just preparation. You know, it's just simply preparation. Just remember that these things that are ahead, these things that you're about to be experiencing are big. And make sure that you're ready. Make sure that you love yourself first. You know, make sure that you fill your cup first. You know, make sure that you show up for yourself first. Yeah. Nancy, I hope it does. I have been in a low vibration since diagnosed with lupus. I'm sorry to hear that, Nancy. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm a Scorpio and I don't know how to get up. It resonates. Thank you. Good. You know what, Nancy? So big, easy does it. Yes, that's true. You know what, Nancy? Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm happy that it resonates with you. And I think that you've been, you know, it's a big thing. You know what your diagnosis, what you've discovered, it's a big thing. Give yourself time to process that as well. You know, it's not necessarily just a low vibration. It's maybe that sometimes we want to get out of the uncomfortable situation straight away, right? But and we don't give ourselves time to process. And so I want to say, just give yourself time to process. Give yourself time to be with yourself, to love yourself, to be compassionate with yourself, you know. I hope you're doing that. I hope you're, because you said I've been in a low vibration since, and I love your awareness that, but also don't point the finger at yourself. Yeah, I hope you know that. I hope you know not to point the finger as yourself to yourself. Sorry, point the fingers to yourself. Yeah. Sorry, my English is just all over the place. Mercury is not Mercurying, and you're actually giving yourself a lot of compassion. Yeah, and a lot of time to process and a lot of time to just understand the changes. Hello, Catherine, darling. Welcome, welcome. Exactly, love. Low physical energy doesn't have to be lower vibration. That's so true. That's so true. Think things through first so you don't get in over your head. I routinely end up in the situation if I don't stop and think first. Yes, that's so true. That's so true. Okay, give me a thumbs up. Hello, Lisa Nanda, and hello, Sarah, as well. Hello. Are we ready? Give me a thumbs up if we are ready for the journal prompt. So everybody on all the platforms. I know I'm seeing on the other platforms we got a few more people joining. Thank you so much. Hello, Brecken. Good morning to you. We are ready. Yes, ready with the journal prompts. Okay. So let's talk about this. Oh, don't worry, Lisa. Sorry I'm late. I'm working on a final paper that's due at the end of August. It's taking me way too long. Honestly, this is the perfect pace. I know you're like, there's frustration because it's taking long, but this is exactly what's coming up in the reading, Lisa. This is exactly what's been coming up in the reading. Like, things might feel like they're going slower, but you're actually going at the perfect pace. So you're perfectly aligned, Lisa. Don't you worry. You're perfectly aligned. All good. Shannon says, when you're at a crossroads, how do you make a decision? Been stuck at a crossroads for over 2 years. Thank you for sharing that, Shannon. Shannon, can you distinguish what your heart wants versus the mind? Can you make the separation? If you look inside of yourself, actually, no, scratch that. I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, scratch what I just said. Forget it. I didn't say it. Okay, I didn't say it. So I'm going to ask you a question specifically, and this is a question that you can all answer. Okay, it's not just for Shannon, but I think that a lot of you might find it useful to answer. Okay, so Shannon, here's a question: if nothing was a problem, if nobody would be upset, and if everything would work out, what would I do? What would I actually want? If nothing was a problem, if nobody would be upset, what I would do? What would I do? Let's use that as the first opening question. We never had this before. It's not related to any of the cards, but it's good. It's a good question. I love answering it for myself, and I love asking it as well. If nothing was a problem and nobody would be mad, what would I do? Nobody would be mad or disappointed at me or whatever, yeah? What would I do? I think I struggle with making a decision and living with regret with both avenues. Yes, but that's because there's something there that it's not aligned. That's what I was hoping that this question would do. Something is misaligned inside. So they're either both good. Or something is misaligned. You get comfortable and you get bored, Nancy. Yeah. If nothing was a problem and nobody would be mad at you, what would you do? What would you choose? What would you choose to be doing? You can also adapt the question to be like, if nobody would be mad at me and nothing was a problem and I could have anything that I desire, what kind of life would I want to live? That's also another version of the question. What we're doing with this question is we're removing the obstacles, right? Because very often there are perceived obstacles that we just make up with our mind. Yeah, there are fears produced for us. Yeah. Michelle says, I would live in peace. Sarah would create art all day and be in nature a lot more. Yes, I would speak without fear. There you go. Yes. Yes. This is what your heart wants. Okay, Michelle, your heart wants to just live in peace. Sarah, your heart wants to create. So design a life, Michelle, where you can be in peace, right? Chloe, I would choose to rest a bit. It's been so busy. Yeah, because your heart wants that, Chloe, and it's okay for you to have it. This is the thing. It's absolutely okay for you to have it. It's not a problem. Yeah, it's not a problem. Janice, hold a healing waters retreat on my land. Janice. Yes, I love that. There you go. Shannon says living in marriage. There you go. Shannon, thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you for being so brave. That's what your heart wants. That's what your heart wants. Now, it is true that once we've answered the question with no obstacles, then our mind goes, yes, but I can't do that. I can't just make art all day. I can't allow myself to rest so much. But if I lived a marriage, this and this and this would happen. Okay. I want you to know that all of these obstacles are perceived obstacles, even if they seem so real. Okay. They're perceived obstacles because once we align with our heart, we become intentional. Once we decide that we choose ourselves, things start to click. Once we decide that we're like, no, I'm not going to give the brain any more time to make excuses. This is what I choose. I choose myself. Things will click. Yeah? Worried about regretting my decision later or if I left. Worried about feeling like a shell of myself if I stay. Yeah. I can't control if someone else is going to change. Exactly, Shannon. Exactly, Shannon. If you are worried about feeling like a shell of yourself if you stayed, is it even possible? If that's a possibility, if there's a possibility that if you stay, you will become a shell of yourself, are you sure that you would regret it if you leave? If there's even a slight possibility that staying makes you become a shell of yourself, are you sure that you would actually regret it then? What is happening? I'm gonna give you my example. I want to join this retreat. Everybody's together. Janice, you've got the people for your retreat. You've got the people for your retreat, Janice. I can share my experience with you. I left a toxic marriage 7 years ago, 7.5 years ago. I had no idea where to go. I had no idea where to go. I was sharing a house. I was sharing a flat with my ex-husband. I had no clue where to go. I didn't know if I would have enough money to make it by myself. I had zero savings and a lot of debt. But I got to a point where I was like, wait a minute. If I don't choose myself, what's going to happen here? And what I saw ahead was not right. And so I chose to leave. I chose myself. And then in the same, so I chose myself. I told him that I would leave. And then I went to work. And then in the same afternoon, I came home and I started making calls to see if I could find a place to live. Yeah. And for some whatever reason, I do not know, the universe put in my head that I should be calling the very first landlord that I rented a studio flat with when I came to London. It would have been 8 years before, right? I had zero contact with this landlord, had no idea what was going to happen, but universe was like, you should check with him. So I called them. I was like, Anthony, I need a place to live. I am on my own now. Do you happen to have any of the studio flats available? Yeah. And he goes, look, I've had a studio flat free for about a month, but I haven't been able to do the refurbishments that need to be done to it, like in between tenancies, the painting and the changing the carpets and the mattresses, like that sort of stuff. I haven't been able to do all the works that it needs doing. So I haven't put it on the market yet. He says, if you want it, it's yours, but I need time to do the works. And I said, yeah, I'll take it. I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'll take it. Whatever time you need, I'm going to be there. I'll send you the deposit, whatever. Yeah. Then the day after, so that would have been, he said to me that would have been between 3 weeks to a month. Yeah. Then the day after that, I went to work and I had to tell my boss, right? And we were, had a friendly relationship with my boss, and I went to work and I was like, I have to tell you something. This and this and this is going on. And he's like, do you have a place to stay? And I said, well, yes, I've sorted it out with my old landlord. There's a flat and it's going to be ready in about 3 weeks to a month. And he goes, no, you can't stay in that house 3 weeks to a month. That's not right. You can't, I'm not, he's like, no, don't stay there. Because I'd shared with him how my ex was being, very, the classic, like, narcissistic way. So the very pushy, very, like, he wasn't, anyway. So I shared with him and he's like, no, you can't stay there. Let me make a couple of phone calls. And so he then came back to me the same day and he was like, we have some rooms in one of our pubs, because I was event director for a leisure company in London. And he's like, we've got a couple of rooms. We've got a room on top of one of our pubs. You can stay there for 3 weeks or however long until the flat becomes ready. And you can move in at the end of the week. So this would have been a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And I was like, oh my God, yes, thank you. And I moved in literally that Saturday. Okay. I had no idea where I was going to live. I was in debt and I had no clue whether I was going to make it by myself. All I did was choosing me instead of the toxic, because I thought, you know what? I'm in debt. I might be poor or whatever. Maybe I'm not going to make it on my own, but I know that it's going to be way better than staying here. Okay, so I made that choice, and I literally feel that when you make these choices for yourself, things start to shift. But it takes that choice, it takes that taking that leap, exactly. But you'll be safe and happy, exactly, right? Monica, I don't even know if I want to call that bravery, right? Monica is saying sharing your bravery. I honestly don't even know if I want to call it bravery, because it could have. Honestly, I was desperate. The choice came from that desperation of being like, I cannot stay here a minute longer. I cannot do it. So it's probably, maybe it turned into courage, but that was just, it was just my system, my body, my system telling me, you need to get out of here, you know? And it got to that, to that, to being that bad, you know? I've left for a couple of months and stayed with my parents, and every time I would try to finalize things, he would come back saying, let's try XYZ, and there's kids involved. Yes, exactly, Shannon. Exactly, Shannon. Again, there's kids involved. I totally, like, it does make things more complicated, but I think that your kids, have you considered the difference that he's going to make to your kids if they have a happy mum? Have you considered that? Because I know that we always consider our fears, right? We always give in because we're afraid of something, but we never consider, what if things actually go well? What if you become really happy by choosing yourself? What's the impact that it can have on your children if they have a happy mama? You know? You know when you're truly ready to reclaim your power. Exactly. Yes. It was necessary. That's that, Michelle. That's that. Did the same thing. It was necessary. Yeah, yeah. So many of you have experienced similar. That's beautiful. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Let's go with the journal prompts for this week. You can keep answering, Shannon. You can keep answering. Okay. So we've got this 7 of Swords reverse. I want to know, what is it that we're moving away from? Okay. What habits, what self-sabotaging habits are we moving away from? Or am I moving away from? Yeah. So this is the energy that is leaving us, because now we have changed the way that we perceive ourselves. We know our worth. So let's bring awareness to this. What are the habits that we're leaving behind? What is it that we're moving away from? I left a toxic relationship. Things could only get better because it was so bad. Yeah, exactly. So many kids wish their parents, absolutely yes. So many kids wish their parents, oh my goodness, I lost it. Wish their parents would have split up in order to get out of an abusive, toxic situation. Yes, that's true, Sarah. And that's one of the things that I am very grateful for that my parents did. I am really grateful that they split up. I'm really very, very grateful. They split up, I think, they split up. My mom left when I was about, I think, 1.5 or 2 years old. It did mean that I had an absent father, but I think it would have been worse if I was in the same household. Instead, we went to live with my grandparents, and I had a lot of unconditional love from my grandma, you know? And so, yes, absolutely. I'm so grateful for my parents splitting up. Yeah. No, Shannon, please never say sorry. Never say sorry. This is what the community is for. This is what the community is for. This is what it is all about. You know, it's about healing together. It's about overcoming things. It's about getting people's perspective, getting motivation, getting inspiration. You know, it's good. It's good. Please don't say sorry. Lisa Nanda, years ago I convinced my mother. Oh wait. I convinced my mother to lay my father, and she didn't know what would happen. To leave your father, she didn't know what would happen. Sorry, it's going so fast. I can't find it anymore. Okay, what would happen either, because she kind of, oh my god, the chat is going fast, I can't read it. Because she kind of depended on him, and she ended up getting the house and everything worked out. Yes, exactly. Choosing yourself. I'm not saying he's going to be a walk in the park. I'm not saying that. I would never say that. It was not a walk in the park for me, okay? I went through a very messy period. I was unhinged for a very long time, okay? I was unhinged for a bit. I was a bit crazy. I needed to get stuff out of my system. It was very bumpy for a while, but you need to learn. You know, you need to learn. You need to understand, and you need to come home to yourself, right? Can't help your kids if you don't help yourself. Yeah, the kids always know. Yes. Self-doubt and feelings of unworthiness. Jeanette, sending you so much love, darling. It's hard work, but looking back, it's always worth it. Yeah, I totally agree. Jacqueline, oh, you have a different perspective. So Jacqueline says, just a month ago, I resigned from my 20-year career, elementary school teacher, due to burnout and waiting to discover what the universe has in store for me. That's amazing. I love that for you, Jacqueline. You see? Betraying myself, my emotions, values, and my heart in relationships, Marina says. Exactly. We don't want to do that to ourselves, right? Shannon says, I try to go with the mentality, choose your heart, because both paths are going to have their struggles. Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, either path is not going to be good. It's sorry, either path is going to have challenges, right? Either path is going to have challenges. So would you rather face challenges that are making you heal and come home to yourselves, or do you rather face challenges that are moving you away from yourself? Because that's the ultimate choice, is choosing yourself over somebody else. That's what I think, at least. Yeah, right. Okay, so what is it that we're moving away from? I'm asking the guys to help me with decluttering. I know that it will be very, very inspiring and grounding. Absolutely, I love Jeanette. Get rid of what doesn't serve you. Yes, 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 yes. I love that. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so now let's move into this Page of Swords energy. Page of Swords is a new, fresh perspective that we have about ourselves. Mary's also decluttering. That's great. You see, this is a great thing to do, by the way, during Mercury retrograde on a full moon week. Like letting go, right? Decluttering, making space for more, or for different energy to come in. Okay, Page of Swords. This is us having a fresh perspective on ourselves. Okay, us coming in with a fresh perspective. So what has changed? What has changed in the way that I view myself? Next question. What has changed in the way I view myself? What has changed recently in the way that I view myself? Page of Swords. Oh, I need to write this down, don't I? Because I'm going to add the questions to the replay. Oh, goodness. Let me go find them now. Let me go find them. You guys answer the questions in the meantime. Here we go. One. Oh. Okay. Yes, Lisa. Okay. This fresh perspective is knowing I can ask my guides. Whoops. It's knowing I can ask my guides for help all the time. Yes, Jeanette, you absolutely can. I love working with spirit guides. It is such an encouraging way, so supportive. I love that. I love that. Do you have a favorite spirit guide, Jeanette, that you work with? Number one, I'm going to bed early, saying no to invitations because I'm tired and I need sleep. Oh, yes, and rest. I'm feeling great now. Yes, Monica. Yes. Circumstances don't necessarily reflect that I failed. So true, Michelle, right? So true. Sarah, I'm viewing myself as healthy. Lately, I've been working with a pre-diabetes diagnosis. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Sarah. And I just got my blood test back that I reversed. Oh, it reversed it with just nutrition and lifestyle changes. That's amazing, Sarah. Wow, I'm mind blown. I want to keep going with these new habits and also continue improving my mental and spiritual health. Oh my God, Sarah, congrats. That's brilliant. I love that. That's so good. Amazing, amazing, amazing. That's another way of choosing ourselves. Monica, by the way, I'm doing the same. I literally have cancelled everything for the month, actually, until I have cancelled any extracurricular activity that I had until mid-September. until mid-September, because I really feel like I need time to just regroup. I really feel like I need time to regroup. There have been so many shifts, so many changes, and I'm like, no, I'm not the same person that said yes to these commitments. And I feel like I have to regroup to understand better my priorities, better my values. I need to teach myself a new ways in different aspects of my life. And so it does feel great. Yes, I agree with you, Monica. It does feel great. It gives space for us to evolve, a space for us to grow, space also for us to learn, to learn the new ways, to teach ourselves the new ways. Beautiful. Took 4 months of hard work, but it's so worth it. Oh my goodness, Sarah. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I can imagine. 100%. 100%. So, okay, so let's move on to this Three of Pentacles now. Okay, I want to give ourselves a little bit of encouragement with this. Sorry, I really need to blow my nose. Okay, sorry. So I want to really give ourselves a little bit of encouragement with this. Okay, so when I feel like things are going slow, okay, when I feel that things are not going at the pace that I would want them to go to or at, what am I going to say to myself this week? Okay, so let me redo that question. What am I going to remind myself this week when things feel slower than I'd like them to be? Yes. What am I going to remind myself this week when things feel slower than I would like them to be? Because it's all in the mind. Remember, it's all in the mind. It's all about how we talk to ourselves. It's all about that. The things that we say to ourselves determine what frequency we're tuned into. Yeah? Determine what frequency we're tuned into, and therefore determines the changes that are happening in our life. Yeah? Trust in the divine. I love Jeanette. Love that. Trust in the divine. Beautiful. Oh my God, Lisa. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes. Brittany says that though the future can be scary, but we're surrounded by love. And it's going to be okay. My family for a settlement, and we're going to be looking for a house. This will be only second time I've ever lived in a house. I've lived in apartments most of my life, except for 2.5 years that we lived with my grandma before we moved to Indy. Oh, Brittany, congrats. That's exciting. Slow and steady. Yes, slow and steady. I've gone into hermit mode to navigate changes to romantic breakups and job loss. I'm going to remind myself that this is a period of transition, not the destination. Bracken, totally. What was I listening to? Oh yes, I came across a video the other day. Yes, I came across a short video the other day that said something like, remember that this is a season. And I thought, how amazing. It says, remember that this is a season. It's not your whole life. Don't treat this season as your whole life, because it's not. This is just a season. And I thought, that's amazing. That's amazing, right? What a great reminder to shift. Yes. What my mom always told me, patience, you'll get there. Yes, you get there. Trust and relax. Yes. Divine timing. Time is relative. Yes. And all things happen when they're meant to happen. Yes. Yes. So true. No worries, Sarah. Thank you so much for popping in. Thank you so much. It was so good to see you. Thank you. It's time to sloth. I totally agree, Michelle. That's such a great reminder. It's like, yes, I want to go, but this is actually time to sloth. So let me just take my sweet time and be a sloth for a little while. Sloth for a little while. Jeez. I hope my accent I didn't ruin that. Didn't create any problems with that. Lol. Oh God. Okay. So then we have the sun reverse. The sun reverse. Oh, have a smiley. kind of day, Sarah. Oh, that's beautiful. That resonates. I got message from spirit guides to trust the process. The process is the destination. That's exactly that, April, right? So now with this sun reverse, again, like we're feeling like certain things are starting to come to the surface with the ways that we want to express ourselves. Maybe it's not yet time, as we said, to bring it out in the open, but nonetheless, these things might come to the surface. So what new ways of expressing my authenticity have been coming to the surface? I wish I could type, but no. It's just not happening. Here we go. What new ways of expressing my authenticity have been coming to the surface? What's coming up? What's coming up? What new inspirations have you had? What new inspirations have you had? I have come, what's coming more and more to the surface for me is just like to quit social media for good, to just like delete everything. I've already gotten it out of my phone. I've already taken it out of my phone. And now I'm like, that is not a vehicle that I want to use to express myself. But I'm still not quite decided yet. I'm still not quite decided yet. Doing routines at work, G says. Yes, Jeanette, speaking with my heart. What does your heart want to say, Jeanette? Tell us, what does your heart want to say? I have forgotten my water again. It's fine. It's fine. We are divine, Jeanette. Yes, I'm doing less and spending less time on social media as well. Yeah, it's really coming up to the surface. And you know what? I was actually having a conversation with a friend about this the other day. I think that generally, I don't think that social media has a great vibration. Okay, as a concept, like I don't think the concept of social media that creates so much dependency, you know, addiction to it, to the doom scrolling and all of that. I think that's something that is programmed in that way to distract people so much. I think that that's a very, very low vibration. And I feel like all of the people here on Inside Timer and the people who are in our community in other platforms as well, I feel like we are becoming more and more aware as we understand a little bit more the frequencies and the vibrations. And I feel that a lot of us are really becoming very, very resistant to social media. Very, very resistant. The only thing that I'm thinking with regards to actually completely switching off my accounts, the only thing is like possibly the people who are on social media, maybe there are the people that are looking for help, you know, maybe that's they are like stuck in that vibration, and possibly the help could be good for them. And so that's what's stopping me. Is like, is it, am I going to be doing good kind of work if I stay on the social media, right? Is it going to be good work because I'm helping people who need it, or maybe not, you know? So I don't know. I don't know. I'm still a little bit torn, so I'm gonna give it this week again. You know, I'm gonna keep it there for a while and see, and allow this idea to develop a little bit more. You know, Leslie, yes, Gloria, I quit socials, time suck, and mentality protection. Yes, but different when you have your own. I know when you have your own business. I know, Leslie, but I honestly keep thinking that I'm really not even sure that that's a way that I even want to do business, you know? I don't think that that's even aligned, you know? Michelle, slowing down, taking naps in between things that I have to do. Social media removal from my phone is something I do often. Yes, I put it back, then take it off. I know, then take it off. Again, I replace it with more Insight Timer. Yes, business-wise will be tough to do. I don't know. We'll see. Renee, deleting Facebook off my phone was the best thing I've ever done. There you go. Our algorithm can keep us listening. Yep. to the echo chamber. I totally agree, Renee. I totally agree. Shamandarek in book Spirit Hacking talks about how we are given cheap entertainment. Yes, cheap entertainment and food to largely keep us distracted and complacent. I 100% agree with that, love. I agree. What would you say to a friend if she asked you if they want to quit social media or not? I would ask them the same thing that I asked Shannon earlier. I would say if nothing was a problem and if everything would work out, what would you do? And to me, my answer would be I would just delete it. I would just delete it and come off it completely. Yeah. I go flying every second week, day and weekends. Love that. Love. I have beautiful teachers that resonate with me on Facebook. Okay. People will find you if they're meant to be. Mary, that's another thing. That's another thing, right? That's what I'm thinking as well. Like if we hold a certain vibration, I mean, look at how many people that are finding us here on Insight Timer with the Glow Nation, right? We're holding, and we're not advertising this, right? We're not advertising our Insight Timer, you know, our community and stuff. So the people that are feeling attracted, they're just joining us. And so I'm like, this is all possible. You see, there's such an interesting thing to talk about. I think the whole social media thing is very, very interesting. And I don't know, I feel like more and more people are becoming like very detached from it, which is great. Okay, next question. We have the Three of Wands. Now this is what we're starting to see. Okay, I want you to ask yourself, what is the life that I am starting to design for myself? Describe, actually, let's do it in a fun way. Describe in 3 words. Describe in 3 words the kind of life I am designing for myself. Okay. 3 words to describe the kind of life that you're designing for yourself. The life that you're looking out, you're looking at the horizon and you're like, that's where I'm headed. That's where I'm going. That's the life that I am designing for myself. Ooh, filled with wonder. Jeanette, I love that. Filled with wonder. Ooh, it's beautiful. Filled with wonder. Yes. Filled with wonder. Connection to myself. Yes. Loving, peaceful legacy. Beautiful. Authenticity, living from the heart, and gratitude, Bev says. Monica, go with the flow. Love this. Joy, authenticity, and purpose, says Janice. We cannot wait to come and experience that at your retreat, Janice. Joy, authenticity, and purpose. Love that. Freedom, joy, and shine, April. Yes, shine. Oh, good. Thank you so much for sharing, Jeanette. She says, a teacher here on Insight Timer has inspired me with this term, wonder. Her name is Joy Truscott. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jeanette. Marina says, dare to create. Yes, dare to create. Ooh, I love that. I love a dare, right? I dare you to create what your heart desires. Oh, yes. I dare you to create the best life you can possibly imagine. Oh, she comes from Cape Town. Nice. Oh, I'm going to have to look for her. I'm going to look for her. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. 3 words. The life that you're designing for yourself. 3 words. And then finally, with this 5 of Wands reverse, I want to think about the people, the outside drama and the inside drama, the inner drama, okay? What drama am I no longer subscribing to? What drama am I no longer subscribing to? What is it? Sarah says, beautiful, thriving, content. That's beautiful, Sarah. What drama am I no longer subscribing to? What is it? Maybe it's the social media drama. Maybe it's the social media drama. Maybe it's the toxic work environment. Jeanette, judgment of self and others. Thank you. Bev is like everybody's drama. I don't know. I love that, Bev. That was so good. Everybody's drama. I am no longer available for any of that. That's brilliant. Yes, Bev. Yes. What other people think. Yes. Beautiful. Just checking the other chat as well. What other people think. That can become such a huge drama in our head, isn't it? Being around gossipy friends, Monica says, when they start, I stop. I stop them in their tracks. Yes, Monica. I agree. I've distanced myself from that as well. Love, we can cleanse and update our follows and chosen contacts. Love, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Actually, I remember that being a really life-changing moment for me. A few years after I divorced, I was already, with Andres and everything. So it was already like a few years, but I still had so many contacts saved from like my old life. And literally one day I just deleted all from my friendships, like, on the social media, and I deleted the people's numbers, and I felt so much lighter. You guys. Like, my energy had gained a massive amount of space. So that's a beautiful, really, really powerful practice, a really powerful thing to do. Yes, love. Hilda says, not feeling in the right mood. Because that can play up there, can it? Yes. Mary, political drama. Oh God, yes. Self-limiting beliefs and structures. Yes. Beautiful. Changed, renewed, and transformed, I think. Do you mean transformed, Brittany? Peaceful, self-love and care, and at my peace. Family and political drama. Yes, Mel. Yes. Comparison. Yes. Are we able to talk with angels? Yes, Claudia. We can. We all can. They're part of spirit guides. I don't specialize in that, but many of the spirit guides that I see, that I feel, and that I see come through are angels. But I don't necessarily work with angels specifically. But yes, they come through very often. And you know what, Claudia? Actually, in Spirit Guides Connection, the first time I connected with an angel, I felt the most pure, unconditional love. And it was just humongous. It was so beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's do a recap of this week to finish off. We are finally moving away from so many habits. We are seeing ourselves. Hello, Mystic. We're seeing ourselves in a new way with this Page of Swords. We finally have shifted the perspective that we have of ourselves, therefore are rising up to the challenge, are taking responsibility and no longer deciding to turn the head the other way, right? There's still a little bit of sloth pace due to the retrogrades and the void moons, which means that some things are coming to the surface. Some of the plans are starting to move, but not quite yet. We still feel a little bit slower there. So we just have to remind ourselves that this is the time to do that. This is the time to go slow right now. So if things are being slow, just taking the time to really reevaluate everything, reflect, making sure that we are 100% aligned with our heart. And I feel that the reason why we're experiencing this is because some of the results, some of the changes that are coming through from the things that we are implementing now are going to be big. So we really need this space and time for ourselves in order to be able to welcome all of that. Yeah. So really, I think some of you have mentioned decluttering today. I think that we do need to do a nice decluttering of the mind, a nice decluttering, physical decluttering, spiritual decluttering, energy decluttering. So let's focus on that as well. Yeah. To bring that in so that we make as much space as possible. Then we're finally having clarity. The clarity is coming the more we get towards the end of the week. We release with the full moon, gaining more clarity, and finally moving away from a lot of drama that has kept us stuck in fear, stuck in situations that were not good for us for a very long time. So this is the energy of this week. How are you finding it? Thank you so much, Jeanette. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for everybody who tuned in. What emoji is that? Oh, is that the sloth, Mel? That's the sloth, isn't it? That's cool. I love it. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. It's always beautiful to connect with our, at our Monday appointment. I am seeing you again on Wednesday. This week we're doing personal tarot and oracle readings. So if you want some guidance, some clarity, come along on Wednesday, same time as, no, Wednesday is at 5:30 p.m. So half an hour later than today. All readings are randomly picked. So we'll have the wheel and we'll do that. And then on Friday night, 6:30 till 8 p.m. UK time, we have the Aquarius full moon ceremony. So come to that. Let's release together. Remember that with the energy of this month, new moon in Leo, full moon in Aquarius, we are bringing in the heart and releasing the mind. Okay, so come along. I am very excited about it. Jennifer, thank you so much, and Siobhan as well. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Dawn, Mary, Sarah, thank you so much. Brittany, thank you. I shall see you on Wednesday. Love you lots. Mwah. Bye everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.